I've come to terms that I will likely have anxiety and depression for the rest of my life. When I first started on anti-anxiety meds, I fully thought I'd be on them for a few months and then get better. The same way you might break your wrist, but ultimately it heals. But over time, I've come to realize that what happened with my mental health was much more like losing a limb than breaking a wrist. Now let me explain. If you lost your leg, you're not going to wake up each morning thinking, maybe my leg grew back a bit more today. Instead, you manage your new life without a leg. And one thing my therapist is a big believer in is finding out why we feel the way we do about things. If I told her I'm having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that I'll likely be on medication for the rest of my life due to my mental health, she'd say, why do you feel that way? And what about your childhood reinforces those feelings? Now, I can say for myself, I was not brought up to talk about or value mental health. I was told that struggling with that makes you weak. For the longest time, I didn't even want to admit I had anxiety, and it wasn't until I was in my 20s that I even realized what it was. When I was younger, struggling with anxiety, I was told I was being disrespectful or weird and to knock it off. I grew up in a family where people should have been on medication and people should have been in therapy, and I know the damage that causes. So while I may never be off medication, I also know it makes me a better mother, wife, boss, friend, and human. And while I can't control my mental state, I can take control of managing it. So one day I may work through these things and be able to handle the world without medication, but I know for now without medication I wouldn't be in the world, and for that I'm so grateful.